Hello friends, this is Dr. Scott Hagan and welcome to the 5-Minute Leadership Class. Do you know that most emerging leaders in our society do not come from a legacy platform? What do you mean by that? It means there was no family template to give them the direction, the definitions, or the landmarks for what a leader would look like. They come from a platform without legacy. And for those that do not come from a legacy platform, they're constantly asking early on in their leadership, how do I do this? What do I do next? Some come from legacy platforms and they have their own burden because their burden is, how do I live up to this? If they've come from a strong family template. But for those without legacy platforms, they often battle the idea of what vision is. When I talk to a young or an emerging leader about vision, they often describe what they do not want to become. It's a vision for what not to be. The cumulative impact of that absence or vacuum of example, the negative experiences, the people that have hurt them have all formulated an idea of the future that's negative. And so their whole vision is not to become that. But not being something, not being a hypocrite, not being your father is not a vision. At some point, that vision of what not to be has to change into the vision of what to become. That's a big, early, huge pivot for those who do not come from a legacy platform. You know, when I think about legacy and I think about building leaders from scratch from those who do not come from a legacy platform, no family template, they weren't around good examples, good role models, good representations of leadership. They don't have the definitions. They don't have the know-how. They've not observed people under pressure making decisions of character in their life. When I'm working with a leader like that, I give them 4 starting points for leadership. And these are my 4 starting points for leadership, even at this stage of my life. Starting point 1 is availability. People need in leaders not simply presence, they need essence. There's a difference between being present and having essence. Essence means more than just physically being there on time, shaking a few hands, smiling at people. It means that you're fully engaged and fully present. Essence has to do with that sense people have that you are there with all your heart. Even if it's a 10-second encounter, people need essence in their leadership. So it starts with starting point 1, availability. The second one is this, it's kindness. It really does come down to warmth. I don't care how powerful or what your personality is. We have to exude warmth to people. When people feel warmth in the relationship, through eye contact, through the tone, the timing, through the questions you ask, through that essence, it puts them at ease and they know that the relationship has a future. If people don't feel warmth in you, don't feel kindness in you, it tells them the relationship has no future. And it puts them on guard. And oftentimes people become disheveled, defensive, boastful because they're set back, disorientated because the person they're trying to hear, meet, follow is exuding a cold heart toward them. So kindness is the second starting point. The third starting point is urgency. I'm not talking about reckless speed. I'm talking about people sensing in us as leaders that we have passion and a sense of importance about that person or the initiative we're working on, the collaboration. If people feel us disengaged, that there's no urgency, that we're just passive, we're just there, they will check out. You will not draw out of them their best. So leaders need to be available, they need to be kind, they need to be urgent. And the last thing they have to be is thoughtful. People don't want pat answers. They don't want to hear from you what they can get off the internet. People want thoughtful answers that are specific, that are not just lying on the surface. And so this takes critical thinking. It takes thoughtfulness apart from the conversation. You got to carry people in your heart and think about what was talked about after the conversation's done. And out of that comes thoughtful answers. So if you're not from a legacy platform, you don't know what to do next, or maybe you are from a legacy platform and you feel badly because you feel you can't live up to something. No matter where we are in the leadership spectrum, these 4 starting points, availability, kindness, urgency, and thoughtfulness is where we begin. You know, in Mark 5, Jesus was on his one place, and someone interrupted him, a woman that was in desperate need. The Bible says when that woman touched the hem of Jesus' garment, Jesus said, "I felt something leave me." Every day in leadership, when we encounter a broken world, a dispirited world, and we manifest leadership that's available, that's kind, that's urgent and thoughtful, something leaves us. That something needs to be replenished. I want to encourage you to stay replenished, stay humble, stay broken, stay curious about all things that lead to a godly life, a leadership life of influence. I pray you lead well and continue to serve with all your heart in the days ahead.